Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite lenses that I ever bought, the Tamron 17-70 2.8. So when this lens was first released by Tamron, they claimed that this was the only lens that went from 17 to 70 and stayed at a constant 2.8. That still may be the case, I'm not sure, but it is a really great range for a lens that stays consistent all the way through. So in this video, I want to share with you what I really love about this lens, how I've used it in the past, the best use cases, the best sort of situations for it, and then talk about kind of the character of the lens, the build quality, the focus speed, all that good stuff. But stay till the end because I do want to share the one con that I do have with this lens, and it potentially could be a deal breaker for you. But I do want to start by saying that if you would like to buy this lens after this video and you decide that it's going to be the purchase that you want to make, I do have an affiliate link down below where you can purchase it. So first off, like I said, this is a really great range going from 17 to 70. 70 to 50 was a really popular kind of focal length range for a lot of kit lenses and some other lenses like that. But the extra 20 millimeters that goes from 50 to 70 adds a little bit extra punch, and that makes this lens really good for especially live events and kind of documentary filmmaking. I've used this for live stage performances and it's worked really great, and I have used this for weddings where I feel like it really shines because of its versatility. It allows you to get all the nice wide beauty shots and then to kind of sneak in and get whatever close-ups you need without getting right up into everybody's business. And I use this lens for almost every shot in all of my other gear review videos. For these types of shots, obviously I'm not using it now because I have it in my hand, but I use this also for the product shots and the example shots and all of that stuff. So this lens already just for the YouTube kind of scenario works super well. And one really great thing about this lens, and it also applies to some of Tamron's other lenses like their 17 to 50, is that this lens can focus very closely to the subject. It can focus really closely at 17 millimeter, and then even when you jump in, you can go almost equally as close. So I do feel like that is a really nice thing to have, because a lot of lenses, once they've reached their maximum focal length, they can't focus that closely, which can get kind of annoying, but you can get right up to your subject. So I do find that is really handy. And then the next thing that I like about this lens is that it does have a good amount of character. It feels pretty natural in terms of how it deals with everything in the shot, but there are elements about it that do make it feel a little bit dreamy, and the bokeh in the sides does start to swirl a little bit. And I do really like that, and I feel like it's a really good mixture of a little bit more stylistic feel, but still looking very natural. And then on a similar note, I do feel like the flaring is also a very nice mix. It does have a good amount of flaring. Personally, I do like that in my lenses, but I also feel like it is not really that extreme. So regardless of whether you do or not, this is kind of the nice middle ground for that. And in terms of build quality, it is a fairly hefty lens. I don't think it's a metal build. It feels like it potentially is a very heavy duty plastic. But I don't really feel like I'm holding something cheap at all. The focus rings are rubber and the zoom ring is rubber as well. And then the overall body, like I said, does feel very durable, and I don't feel like it is made very cheaply. But one thing that I do like about it, this is also kind of more of a camera thing, but some cameras like the FX30 have the touch focus. So if you're needing to focus on something very specific, you can touch the screen and it will focus pretty nicely. But the thing that I really like about this lens when paired with a camera like the FX30 is the touch tracking focus, which allows you to tap an object or a specific part of the frame, and then wherever you move the camera further back or right to left, it does stay in focus for the most part. Every once in a while it'll drop it out, but it does a pretty good job overall. In terms of sharpness, there are videos that do a much better job at talking about the specific sharpness on a more scientific level, but I do feel like it is pretty sharp and I never have any complaints in that regard. It may be a little bit soft on the corners and the edges, and there may be a little bit of chromatic aberration in high contrast portions of certain shots, but I feel like the optical quality of this lens is really great, especially for its price. But the one main complaint that I do have with this lens is that it is focused by wire, meaning there is no start or stopping point in the ring, it just continues. I do know that that is a price saver, and if this lens did have a starting and stopping point, it would be a little bit more expensive. But there are definitely points in shoots where I've been in where I've wanted a little bit more control and just wanted to manually turn it. But you just kind of got to get used to it and get used to the speed at which you turn it in order to get focusing on what you want. And my only other kind of complaint is actually also in regards to the focus ring. I do wish the focus ring were a little bit wider, because sometimes I do feel like I am searching for it. And I do wish that the focus and the zoom were actually switched, because I do find that I prefer my focusing out there, because I also get more stability when my hand is out here versus back here. But overall, I do think that this is the best lens for this particular price that you can get. Staying at 2.8 and having this amount of range is really nice, and it lends itself to a lot of different scenarios, whether that be live events or weddings or even short film and narrative stuff. It works really great for. So that's really all I have to say about this lens. And like I said, there is a link down below where you can purchase it if you would like. So that's the end of this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, go ahead and check out my other stuff, and feel free to subscribe if you haven't already to see the other stuff when it comes out. So I will see you in the next one.